Life's best moments are best captured by photography and video. You may ask, why photography and video? Because if a photo is worth 1,000 words, video is worth 1,000,000. And GPS photography and video will leave you speechless. GPS specializes in weddings, sports, fitness, and so much more. Book your next shoot today at 910-257-0526 or gpsphotoandvideo.com.
Welcome to the Amazon's podcast. I'm Glenn Young, owner of Amazon's Fitness Magazine. The podcast is brought to you by Maximus Posing Suits. Let your inner warrior shine. Custom competition suits for victory on every stage. MaximusPosingSuits.com. And of course, me, GPS photography and video. Why photography and video? Because if a photo's worth 1,000 words, video's worth 1,000,000. GPSPhotoandVideo.com. Joining me on the podcast, she's a two-time Olympian, IFBB Women's Bodybuilder Pro, and coming to the cover of Amazon's Fitness Magazine very soon, Chelsea Dion.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me, Glenn.
No, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you. So, everybody talks about, and you definitely had early success, as a women's bodybuilder, two-time Olympian, but nobody knows about your journey, how you got there, and we see the culmination of the stage and all the glam, and oh look, she's going to the Olympia. But tell me a little bit about your struggles, your triumphs, and how you got there.
Well, just like everybody, there's always been ups and downs. What really got me into wanting to compete was reading Oxygen magazines back in the day. I've always been a big fan of print, and I've always loved magazines. And when I was wanting to start my fitness journey, in the back of Oxygen magazine was Competitor's Corner, and I would see these girls, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is like a muscle pageant. And I grew up doing pageants, so I kind of was like, you know what, I would love for this to be the goal. So from that moment on, I was just focused on trying to get on stage one day. I had no idea what category or anything. I just knew I needed to change my habits, and I'd put on a lot of weight partying and all that stuff. And so that magazine and Competitor's Corner is what really got me focused on competing. I did my first show in 2014 in Women's Physique, and it was I was not ready, but it was still an amazing first experience that got me hooked. I loved the whole process, the tanning, the makeup, the glam. It was everything that I had loved doing when I was younger, but just muscly and even better. And so from that moment, I was hooked. And only problem was I had a really bad rebound after my very first show. And I ended up gaining like 50 pounds in probably 2 months. And it took me about 4 years for my body to start responding again. And I wasn't like on gear or anything. I was a natural athlete. The rebound just really just messed with my body, my hormones, and I could not control my eating habits. And so finally, 2018, it was a year after I had lost my mother to cancer. 2 years earlier than that, I had lost my grandma. So both of my parents have been passed. And it really made me want to get back on stage again, because they were able to go to my first show. And so they saw me at least get on stage once. And they loved it. They loved that I had found something that I was passionate about, even though my grandma didn't really see it as something that was like desirable to look at, but they were still so supportive. And so after my mom died, I finally kind of like got my life together a little bit more. and was able to get back on stage again. But I just still didn't look the part. I wasn't really good at dieting all that much yet. I always had muscle, but never was able to get lean. Um, and then I went and took last place at nationals in 2018. That was the show that Andrea Shaw went pro at. We were both in women's physique, and so that was hard.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't compete again until 2020, and that was my last time I did women's physique. And I missed going pro by one,
Mm.
which was okay. I
Wow.
mean, once I looked at the comparison photos, I just saw that like my place wasn't in women's physique because the girls who beat me were very tall, like much smaller than me. Um, and so I thought, okay, maybe next time I get on stage, maybe I'll do women's bodybuilding. And that's when I linked up with my coach now, Haseen this year. And
Nice.
at first, we weren't quite sure what we were going to do. So we just started dieting down for a show at the end of 2021.
Okay.
And as I'm dieting down, we finally meet in person at the Olympia in October of 2021. And I had met Margie Martin at the Meet the Olympians, and
Yeah.
she stopped me and she's like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I came to meet you, like." And she's like, "You do women bodybuilding, right?" And I'm like, "No, I think women's physique." And she's like, "No, you are a women's bodybuilder if I've ever seen you." And so when I met my coach in person, I said, "Hey, I just spent some time with some women bodybuilders. What do you think about me going up to actually women's bodybuilding instead of women's physique?" And so he said, "Let's do it." And that was like really the moment that changed the trajectory because I am sure I would not be a pro if I was a women's physique competitor. They
Really? You don't
just,
think so?
I mean, maybe if I brought my Tampa look, like my
Right.
Tampa conditioning, I could see myself going pro, but I think my proportions are a little more fit for women's bodybuilding.
No regrets, right?
No regrets. Yeah, I stepped on that national stage doing women's bodybuilding, and I was just like, okay, this is where I belong, and that's where I went pro and won the overall. And things have been really great. Honestly, I'm like so beyond blessed with the way that my life has really kind of like started to pan out, and I am thankful for it every single day. Um, this has been such an amazing journey. And if you would have told me 2016, 2017, when I was just this chubby girl working at the Eva Gin
Mm.
booth at the Olympia, like that I would one day be on the Olympia stage, I would have a whole booth basically that had my huge picture at the Olympia, like I would have never believed it. So it's still a little unreal.
Well, you're here now, and I think you're an amazing pro, amazing Olympian, amazing ambassador for all your sponsors as well, such as Blackstone Labs. So, I mean, that was one of the things that drew me to you as well. Because, I mean, full disclosure, you already knew we had talked about it as far as you becoming an ambassador or sponsored by Amazon's fitness magazine.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, she's not going to do it this year. So I'm like, man. But as far as marketing, I mean, you can market your tail off. You
I'm
bring in
I'm trying.
charisma and everything.
It is
So,
really hard. Social media is really difficult, and
hmm
we're all still just trying to figure it out. Um, it really is basically like a full-time job, but I am very thankful for it. And I
yeah,
am thankful for all of the sponsors, but we're like in a place right now where like we all need to support each other. We all
hmm
need to be sharing each other's things, you know. So I just
well,
I'm trying to bring more attention.
I mean, you
You know,
took to it well. You never would have known that, but I mean, it fits you. It really does. So
thank you.
keep grinding. So, in the March issue of Amazon's Fitness magazine, you penned an article called "Cannabis: The Drug That Took My Bodybuilding to the Next Level." You state in the article that you've been training for 13 years, smoking weed for 4.
Hmm.
Is Chelsea Dion a pothead?
I mean, you could consider me one, but
Hmm.
I don't like wake up and smoke. I don't spend my
Right.
full day like smoking. It's for strategic purposes.
Hmm.
I say it. And it really has. It's changed my training. It changed the way I've connected with my muscles when I train. It
Hmm.
helps me push harder because it lowers your pain tolerance or it increases your pain tolerance, whichever. um, and it just has so many benefits for me that it's taken my bodybuilding absolutely to the next level.
What made you try it though? I mean, just like
Well, honestly, so
how
even
did you
when I
get
was
started with it?
younger, yeah, exactly. So even when I was younger, I didn't
Hmm.
enjoy smoking weed. Like my girlfriends all did it, and I just wasn't about it. And I didn't really start smoking until 2018.
Hmm.
And it was because I went to the gym and my friend was like, "Here, like have a puff." We're just like out in the parking lot. I was like, "Okay, whatever." Took a little puff, went in and had just a crazy workout where I was like, "What is this? I need this for my pre-workout."
Hmm.
And so I did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was worth it for me. And then, there's other reasons why I enjoy it now too, but it was
Hmm.
mainly for training when I first started.
But it would seem that you get the munchies and just blow your diet, eat up everything in the house.
Well, that's why you have to have some discipline.
Hmm.
But I mean, it was really hard at first because it's easy for you like to smoke and just be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go eat a bowl of cereal.
Right.
But I use it as like, okay, I'm getting my meal ready. Let me smoke a bowl, warming
Hmm.
up my meal, and then I can sit down, put something good on the TV, and just enjoy my meal to the max. I'm eating chicken and rice for 4 meals a day. It's the exact same thing, but every time I smoke a bowl and eat this meal, I'm like, this is the best.
Right.
So it just has helped me diet.
So it seemed like it almost had the complete opposite effect.
Kind of, yeah, but I do use it on days now, like since I'm in the off season, like, oh, I'm waking up, I'm not very hungry.
Hmm.
Um, I use it sometimes for that, but
To help your appetite. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So TRT versus THC, a combination of cannabis and PEDs. This could be detrimental to what you want to accomplish. Is the use of weed and PEDs dangerous?
Honestly, I don't think so.
Hmm.
I do know people who smoke weed all the way up to like the day of the show, like I do.
Wow.
And yeah, they really have no issues. Um, I only think weed can potentially make it better.
I got you. So you would think you in the gym and you just took a puff and like you're high and you're working out, you know, you go down and do a squat, drop the weight on your, pulls you all the way down to the floor, nothing like that. Just,
No, honestly, it just makes me more focused, almost
hmm,
like hyper focused, where I will notice if the bar is off a slight smidge, or like
wow.
if I'm pressing, I can notice, oh, wait, my hand's out a little bit more on this side. It just makes me like hyper aware. And
That's
plus, I have
interesting.
it.
Yeah. So some of the benefits of cannabis is the anti-inflammatory properties.
Hmm.
Uh, different forms of CBD. I mean, do you see that as well? Does it help you with recovery as well as
Yeah,
like a pre-workout too?
yeah. Well, there are different strands. So, there's
Hmm.
indica, sativa, and a whole bunch of things in between.
Okay, stop.
Um,
Ray, I'm not a weed connoisseur,
okay,
so put it
okay,
in layman's terms. From Purple Kush or whatever. what?
okay.
All
So,
right.
think about it, there's basically two types of weed. There is the
Okay.
sativa, which is the one that you want to smoke. That's not going to make you tired. It's more of one that you go do grocery shopping on, go work out
Sativa.
on, one of those.
Okay.
Indica, they call it in the couch because it's a heavy type of high that makes you want to just like chill and relax and recover.
Huh.
So, um, I definitely enjoyed smoking weed on my rest days, at night when I'm trying to wind down, when my body hurts, all of those things. So it really just depends on what strain I smoke for what purpose I'm using to use it for.
So now you're on using in the couch today.
I
Yes, no.
am.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Today
What
is
about
rest.
the different flavors and the different, you know?
That I'm not like super
Yeah,
picky on. My boyfriend is the one who's like, "Ooh, this smells florally. This smells
right.
piney." I
Yeah.
don't care. I don't care. Um, so they do all have different things, but weed is weed to me.
Yeah.
I can smoke anything.
So it's legal in Vegas, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So there you go. You ever thought about opening up your own cannabis dispensary?
I not necessarily my own dispensary, but I can see myself having like a specific, like say there, you know how Mike, oh, you might not know because you're not into it, but Mike
Hmm.
Tyson has his own like weed,
Yeah, his
and
own line. Yeah.
I would love to have my like own weed that is like purposely for like bodybuilders, like a pre-workout weed, recovery weed, like that type of thing.
Well, there you go. You already got a plan.
Or if they have like weed companies who are looking to sponsor
I was
bodybuilders,
gonna say that. Yeah.
that.
And
But I think it kind of depends on the legal like situation of it.
yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a thin line, but if you're in a state where it's legal,
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
look at it, or even be a silent partner, for example. You know,
Mhm.
but as long as you're getting that sponsorship and that money coming in, I'm like, I mean, it would be great to me. It would seem,
Yeah, any way that we can make money is
right.
is right thing.
So what about the other part when you're traveling to a state where it's not legal and it's on you? And talk to me a little bit. I mean, and the hashtag Brittany Griner. We don't want no situation like that. But talk to me.
Yeah, well, we're not going to be going to like some other country with a bunch of weed on us.
Right.
When we were in Spain, we got some. I think I forgot. Yeah, we did. They have like weed stores there. So we really just kind of like, I actually like to enjoy going and finding weed in different states and trying it out because I'm
Really?
from California. Yeah, I'm from California,
Okay.
so they have the best weed in my opinion.
Really?
Vegas weed is okay. Vegas
Yeah.
weed's okay. It's a little pricey. So when we go places, I think when we went to Chicago Pro, we like took an
Hmm.
Uber to go find some weed. We went to a smoke shop there. So we'll go check out different
That
dispensaries
should have
and
been sort of easy though. Like, so you don't like a guy on the corner comes up, hey, I'll leave it in your mailbox and move.
no, but if I was desperate and I knew somebody, that would,
Yeah.
I would.
Well, it definitely seems like the avenue of approach is to open your own business. Even like I said, come as a silent partner and more appropriately get sponsored. What about the oils? I mean, so you can be smoked, you can vape it, right? But
Yeah,
I
they have
mean,
these,
what are the other
they have
products?
um let's see, there's like wax that you can do dabs with.
Mm-hmm.
There's there's so many. There's lotions, there's drinks that you could drink, there's
Wow.
gummies, there's edibles. I've started making edibles, which has been super fun and like
Okay.
something I've been dabbling in. Um, let's see what else is there. There's a whole
Well, I was
bunch of
gonna
ways.
say after a competition, you gonna have your own brownies. Have you ever made
Absolutely.
any brownies? There you okay.
Yes, I have. I make these really good. So it's a white chocolate brownie
Okay.
with wheat butter and white chocolate and macadamia nuts in it, and it is so
Nice.
good. You can't even taste the weed, and everybody says they are amazing.
All right. So we're gonna get off the weed.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your improvement season. How are you doing since the Olympia up to now?
Well, it's been boring. I am currently almost done with the health phase.
Mm-hmm.
So after the Olympia this year, I got sick again. This is the third year in a row. Basically, since I've gone pro, after every season, I get really sick for like
What do you
three
think is
weeks.
causing that?
It is because my gut health is not where
Uh,
it needs to be. So I'm sponsored with an HRT clinic, Their name is Rise HRT, and um, after I got after the season was over, we did my blood work, and then they started offering GI maps, and you
Okay.
can tell so much more from your poop than you can your blood.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a GI test done, got it sent in, and then when we got it back, we were a little surprised at kind of everything that was going on, but it makes sense because of how my immune system was so tanked. I've been chronically fatigued for who knows how long, and I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Those were like two of the big symptoms that I've had. I've never had any type of digestion issues, so I thought it wasn't going to be that bad. But the other symptoms that I was having was because of my gut health. So Matt Casano from Rise HRT, he has given me a complete 12-week protocol to repair my stomach.
Mm.
So,
RISE, right?
right,
You say
RYSE.
is that the same people that do the mushroom coffee? No.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
I
I'm
have
just
some of
saying.
that.
Yeah, I'm drinking some right now.
I haven't tried it yet. I actually should try it. I have some in my cabinet.
Yeah, it's worked well for
Um,
me. But anyway, back to you.
yeah. So, yeah, he wrote me up a complete gut protocol. So I have reduced my training from my basic, pushing hard, 3 days on, one off. I'm training every other day right now.
Mm-hmm.
We cut my cardio out completely, so I haven't done cardio in almost 10 weeks.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
my food was reduced from, well, technically the amount wasn't reduced, but I'm eating from 7 meals. I'm now only eating 4 meals a day. And then I'm doing a ton of health supplements. We had to do some antibiotics. So now we're finishing up those and we're going to be working on um, the good bacteria in my stomach. So I think we have about 4 more weeks left. And then I can really start my off season. Right now,
Okay.
it's just maintaining muscle, kind of just letting my body rest, keep inflammation down, zero stress. Boring. It's boring.
So, you getting a lot of rest. What's your daily schedule like in improvement season versus? Well, we know pretty much what it's like when you're in prep, but what time are you getting up and what are you doing throughout the day?
Well, I'm actually really good about going to bed and waking up basically at the same time every day.
Mm.
So I also have a client every other morning at his
Okay.
house, which
Yeah.
is like a 30-minute drive almost. So I'm up every day about 7. And so whether I go train him or I don't, um, if I train him, when I come home, I take the dogs out to the dog park for like 45 minutes. I
Mm-hmm.
journal, I do my little Instagram thing out there, and then come in the house. I have a whole bunch of steps I gotta take, a drink I have to drink, and then it's breakfast. And then I have some more clients later on in the day, and then I eat my pre-workout meal, and then I train in the afternoon, usually around like 5, 6 o'clock. And then I come home, eat another meal, space it out, eat another meal, and then I go to bed.
So, are your clients competitors or lifestyle clients or
Mostly
a combination
lifestyle.
of
I
both?
have
Okay.
a mix of both. One girl we're going to be getting her on stage this year in bikini.
Nice.
But the most of my clients are lifestyle, which is cool. I love training people.
All right. So, the burning question 20 weeks out would put us at roughly the Atlanta Pro. Even if we say, okay, let's look at the Tampa Pro out there, which you won. That's in August. Do you have that burning itch to say, you know what? I'm going into prep and I'm going on stage? Or are you
if
off?
if I was to say fuck it, I'm gonna jump in and do a show,
Uh huh.
it would be the very last show to qualify for, which is what I did last year because
Exactly. Yeah.
last year I was gonna take the year off and then I
Right.
said fuck it, let's do Spain. And I was like, it's the week of my birthday. It'll make me
Mm-hmm.
get my passport situation like sorted. So it was like a trip for me to like celebrate my birthday, Spain, qualify, handle life stuff.
So Is there a chance that you might
I would love to,
say,
but
fuck it, let's go?
if someone was like, "Here's $20,000," I would say yes. But
Okay, I'm on it. Let me put the word out.
right? But right now I'm in a place where my health and taking care of my gut health is number one priority.
Right,
Um, After this phase, I could absolutely jump into a prep, but
right.
I want to step on stage actually improved. I
Gotcha.
need a full year.
Not just to
So
say, oh, I qualified for the Olympian, I'm here.
exactly.
Yeah.
I am in a place where I don't want to rush things. I
Hmm.
know that one day, I'm not saying it's going to happen in a few years, but I will win an Olympia title.
Oh, no
And
question.
yeah, whether it takes me 10 years, whatever, I'm 32. I
Hmm.
know that I can do that. So I'm
Yep.
not going to rush. I'm not going to push the drugs. I'm not going to push the food and extend the belly. Like, I want to do everything very strategically and smart.
And rightfully so. You got a long career ahead of you.
Yeah,
What are you working on your physique in the off season to improve?
everything.
What was your takeaway from the Olympia, to now, and what was your judges' feedback?
Well, I know at the Olympia I was off, off, off. So let's not even talk about that one. Um, but as far as feedback that I've gotten from other shows like Spinning and Rising Phoenix,
Hmm.
I need to bring up the back. I need to bring up the glutes, which
Okay.
absolutely I 100% agree. And I just need to bring up the overall density. My goal is to obviously maintain my shape as much as possible because it's my strong suit, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
People say, "Oh, it's for shape," but like, I guess I don't quite see it because it's myself.
Hmm.
Um, so we're
And
just
you
gonna
have a
focus.
great look too. So,
Thank you, thank you.
so
So yeah, and that's also a big part of it.
right.
The face is very important. I am trying to keep everything as minimal as I can, and if that means just taking time, I'm gonna 100% take time.
And that's code for femininity.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I just see way too many people just rushing and pushing, and
Hmm.
it's making things for us not good. You
Right.
know, I feel like it's kind of ruining our appeal because the people who push a little too hard, which is fine. And I'm not just saying this at a
Right.
pro level, I'm saying this at an amateur level as well. There's a lot of people who push the drugs and stuff that aren't gonna ever go pro, but people see the way they look.
Right.
Everybody, you know, everyone has the look that they want to look like, and I'm not like diminishing any of that, but
Right.
at the end of the day, we don't have support from the masses.
No, you don't.
We do not. And seeing all these comments and stuff after this whole Arnold thing was just has been
Yes.
so sad. From
Yeah.
even my fellow male competitors talking about how
Hmm.
we're disgusting and nobody wants to watch us. Like it makes me like emotional because it's like
Hmm.
of all people, they know how much work we have to put into it. We're not a bikini class. We
Right.
can't go pro in 9 months of starting to work out. It takes years and years and years and years to build what we bring to the stage. And the fact that people are just so against us is just sad. And that's why I'm like, we need to support each other. We need the support
Right.
from people who love women bodybuilding, people who love women's physique, like people like you, Glenn. Like we need to all like stick together and prove that we are worth the time and the energy and even some focus, you know?
Well, trust me, I got you. I got you. And you pretty much summed my last question up. I was going to ask you, what do you feel the state of women's bodybuilding is?
Oh,
But I mean, how? And everybody talks about a fix, and I'm certainly doing what I can. Um, but what is the fix? We went from point system, no point system, more shows, not enough shows,
yeah.
and you got the Triple O Dynasty coming up, and I haven't seen a lot of promos or promotion behind it, or anything. Not even as far as how much the prize money is going to be. So,
Yeah, one thing that was kind of surprising, I had someone reach out to me, and he has a very well-known YouTube channel that also had a female's part on that YouTube channel. And he saw a comment that I had made, and he messaged me, and he was like, "Yo, we no longer have the woman's part of the YouTube channel because no one watches it. Nobody comments, nobody likes." And he's like, "Women should be able to like other women's things, and you guys aren't doing that." So
wow.
is it is it our bad too? Like, are us women not supporting each other enough either? Like, yes, we have the Triple O Dynasty. Yes, we have the Rising Phoenix. The only reason why those two shows exist is because we were kicked out of the Olympia. And everybody wants to throw that in our face because we are complaining that we're not at the Arnold. We're not complaining. We know he doesn't like women with muscle. It's fine. We don't need to be at the Arnold, but we at least want some, like, respect, I guess.
Right.
Sorry, I was going on a tangent. Where was I going with
No,
that?
that's fine. That's great. So we need to talk about what's going to be the fix and go from there.
Yeah, it's true. So us women, we need to support each other more. And I'm like racking my brain on how to do that. Like, I'm going to be at the Triple O Dynasty. I live 5 hours away. I'm going to drive. I'm going to go support because we need the support.
Right.
And I don't know how else, but I'm trying to think of ways to bring more attention to all of us.
Yeah, I want to say there's 4 competitors. What's funny is there's a not eerie, but I mean there's a connection to Amazon's fitness magazine to a lot of the competitors that's competing. So like Julia Wetzel, she was in contention for that 3rd sponsorship spot.
Yeah.
And then Michelle Bogdan, she's the owner of Maximus Posing Suits. She took out an ad in the Amazon's magazine as well as she funds the podcast. And then you got Gina Cavallero. She writes for Amazon's fitness magazine.
Yeah,
and then of course Teresa, who writes for the magazine and is sponsored by Amazon's fitness magazine. So I'm like, hey, I'm all over. The only thing that I came up short was trying to be a title sponsor and get the banner out there. But hey, I'm doing my part. So
yeah, exactly.
And it's scary because I hope more people will do more because you look, so okay, this is what I'm doing. But I would have been okay to say, well, Glenn, I can't do it because I got a better offer from this person or that person. And there's a lot of the offers and sponsorships aren't out there. So that's one of the things I'm doing, trying to fix it. Hey, give me your last word.
If you need someone at the Triple O Dynasty to get some coverage for you and ask some questions to some of the athletes, you got someone who is willing to do it.
Definitely. Let me work something up. But yeah. And then you go there and interview Teresa and go from there. But yeah, I got a feeling Wings of Strength or somebody else or even Linda, Andrea Charlotte, I'm going to grab you up though. But that's great. So all the best to you. We'll be in touch. We definitely want to shoot. And I'll talk to you about some other things later. This has been the Amazons podcast. I'm Glenn Young for 2-time Olympia Women's Bodybuilder Pro, Chelsea Dion. The podcast is brought to you by Maximus Posing Suits. Let your inner warrior shine. Custom competition suits for victory on every stage. MaximusPosingSuits.com. And of course, GPS photography and video. Why photography and video? Because of a photo's worth 1,000 words. The video's worth 1,000,000. We'll see you next time.
Life's best moments are best captured by photography and video. You may ask, why photography and video? Because if a photo is worth 1,000 words, video is worth 1,000,000. And GPS photography and video will leave you speechless. GPS specializes in weddings, sports, fitness, and so much more. Book your next shoot today at 910-257-0526 or gpsphotoandvideo.com.